Gamers! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Returners Hideout number 343. Oh, I should have named this a Guilty Spark or something. Maybe like a Guilty Spark synonym. But we are back. Welcome. Happy Wednesday to all. We are here. We did not have a coffee and bullshit last weekend because, of course, like we said last week, Mr. Irving Diaz was going to be out of town. He was in Puerto Rico, and he actually won the LQ, punched his ticket to Nats. Congratulations to Irving. I wonder if he is actually playing that deck tonight in the event. It would be interesting to see. Maybe we could go keep one of his games. Let's get Octagon loaded here. The players are already in the rooms. They're underway. They're doing the thing. I was scarfing down my dinner. Little rice, little veggies, little pork chop. You know how it goes. Here, we can watch people fight for Dynamis. That's what we'll do. Okay. This game's open. Perfect. Sign in. Perfect. Thank you, Octagon. Behind the 8 ball today. Game lobby. Alrighty. Let's do this thing. How's everybody doing? Oh, Greg, thank you for the sub. And congratulations on your round 1 win. So powerful. RV, hey. He named it RV, hey. Table 1, sure, let's go there. Let's go there and see what Irving is up to this week. He's against Brian, who has been playing some interesting, like wind, all kinds of like crazy. Oh, he's doing it again, like a wind, earth, lightning deck. All right, let's go over and let's look at this. Let's get this live on the screen. Let's get this live on the screen. All right. Okay, we've got an Earth. Oh man, we're even playing. God, this Shantoto is such an opportunity cost. Like it's kind of nuts. The fact that you lock yourself out of the other Totos is just so crazy. It almost doesn't matter what this card does. But we're playing, yeah, like a lightning, wind, earth thing over here. Oh shit, dude! It's a Final Fantasy V deck. I see a Zizat, like X-Death. This probably has the Barts that looks for Final Fantasy V cards. And then down here, this looks like a Lightning Wind Final Fantasy VII deck. Oh no, there's some soldiers in here too, but it definitely looks like a Lightning Wind core. And then of course, you know, those 2-drop soldiers, they play really well with the Zac. Yeah, here it is, that Legend Zac. What troll art, dude. Like, the art of this card is like the guy walking away from the camera. Like it's like which one of those 2 characters is even Zac? You know, I mean, obviously we know, but it's just really shitty art selection, especially for a legend. Like actually god awful. So let's talk about this wind lightning thing. So Irving and I played a little bit of Coffee and Bullshit 2 weeks ago, and we did have a Final Fantasy VII deck that was doing a lot of the wind stuff, but it did not have this Red 13, and I think that was one of the things that him and I were talking about at the time, about how this Red 13 is so much better, this newer one. He had the one that, oh, that's right, I played like a Oops All Yuffie's kind of deck, like a mono wind Yuffie pile FF7 thing. So it was the Red 13 that gets like haste and all that stuff if there's a Yuffie out. But this one, of course, just enters the field and when he forms a party and attacks, but namely just when he enters the field is more than enough. You reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and you add a 7 character among them to your hand and put the other on the bottom. So he's not even turbo milling. I mean, he'd probably be actually crazy good if he was putting them in a discard instead of the bottom. But you don't have to put Fujin Raijin in here. He's not milling them to your discard pile. He's putting them back into the deck. And then he's just looking for Final Fantasy VII characters. And there are an awful lot of Final Fantasy VII characters in these colors. Plenty to choose from. We see yet another one, Lucia here, going to damage another one of those soldiers. Oh, the games on the screen. Let me get the names on the screen. Let's see. This on the left is Irving. And on the right is Brian. Let's get that up. Here we go. Should probably post something to Facebook since we have a spoiler thing tonight. Let's do this. Let's go to... Let's see here. All right. All right, posted that. Let me make sure this thing's actually like loaded. Okay, cool, that's ready to go. Alright, I had to get that sorted first. Alright, so what are we looking at here? We do have Kefka in this other deck. Yeah, there he is. There's the light bars we want to see, because we'd seen like the X-Death, the Zezet, both Zezets in here. Dude, my man is just, he saw those Dawn Warrior spoilers and he's getting excited, dude. We've got Kelger. Dude, who remembers this old school Dawn Warrior deck? But we're using the new Galuf, or one of the, sorry, new Galuf. Not at all new, from Opus 18, but one of the newer. He's not from way back when, dude. These are from like, yeah, Opus 7, Opus 3. You know, these guys, these original Dawn Warriors from this, the first iteration of this are ancient, dude. The Strongest Sword Gilgamesh Dawn Warriors deck was a whole thing. But this is light Bart, so this is a really cool one. We don't see a lot of play. I really love building around cards like this. If you control 4 more Category 5 characters, Bart's gains Haste, First Strike, and Brave. When Bart's enters the field, you reveal the top 7 cards of your deck, and you add up to 2 Category 5 cards among them to your hand. Cards, they can be summons, they can be backups, they can be monsters, they can be forwards. And then shuffle the other cards and return them to the bottom of your deck. So, 7 is a lot of cards. You don't even have to go that crazy. I mean, you can afford to play things like Cindy, and you can play things like Shantoto and Charlotta and Kefka, because you have so many Final Fantasy V cards that can be hit in 7. You don't really have to get that like 40 out of 50 cards in the deck to be the right category. Oh, hello, cannot stay, but wanted to come in and say good luck. Thank you so much, and thanks for the bits, little bits. I appreciate you, Mr. Knott. As always, thank you. Can't stay. Well, we've got a spoiler tonight, so you're going to have to check back in for that one. You don't have to, I know you're not going to be here on stream, and sorry that you're going to miss it, but we'll get that posted in the Discord, and we'll make sure you get the peek. Thank you so much for the bits. Little bits. Alright, Zach is doing a thing here. He's turning sideways. Now, that's Zach's favorite thing to do when he attacks. He, of course, gets that attack trigger. And he got to play some dudes for free. So now we've got this whole little squad. In fact, we've got Red 13, Angeal, Matt, and Zach. And Angeal is like, when he enters, if you have 2 or more job soldiers, you just break the forward. And we've got 3 of them between Matt, Zach, and Angeal. And then he has that second, but you can just put him in the brakes on any point to pump somebody by 3,000, which is pretty relevant too. And he's not nothing, 3 CB 7K before any kind of buffs that we're considering. So we've got this board with a lot of job synergy that gets kind of wide. In an element combination that has access to the multi-element cloud, I mean, multi-element cloud can do a lot to clear some of these blockers. In fact, can he just deal with the Galoof and the Kefka or the Barts all by himself? So, yep, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. We're going to play Roche, who is a soldier with haste. We're then going to play Cloud. Cloud gets to choose a forward of 4 or less and 5 or more and break them. So Bart's and Galoof. This is one of... there are so many Galoofs that have like things that make him harder to break, or... he does have that, right? But it's all power-based. So this Galoof is you can just keep removing cards from your break zone to make him bigger and bigger and bigger. However... it doesn't matter, because we're just pointing at him, we're saying, kill that old man, get that guy out of here. So Cloud's just going to go ahead and snap him off, leaving only Kefka. Now, Kefka does have that 9k body, and we don't have any kind of, like, buff or anything to speak of. We just have this action ability from Matt, where we can dull a soldier to shrink Kefka's power by 2,000. So, I think we're just looking at our board and considering how we may attack for lethal here. We have 5 attackers. We need to get in 4 points of damage, but Kefka can block. So Irving's just thinking if there's an order that matters, right? He doesn't have a card to play off of the Zach attack. And then Angeal, of course, if the Angeal, basically if we attack with Angeal first, because he has this ability to put him in the break zone and give somebody plus 3,000 power, and then if we don't declare the block with the Kefka, at any point after that, we could snap the Angeal off to like pump somebody, and then we don't have to like dull one of our active soldiers. That is one of our active attackers. However, we're going to go in with Roche first instead. So Roche is just going to be a 4K. Interesting. I mean, we block with Kefka here, and we're actually going to get him to dull multiple soldiers, right? We're gonna dull at least 2 to drop Kefka's power to 5,000. Actually, we've got to do it 3 times to drop Kefka's power by 6,000. And it just feels like we could have done this maybe in a little bit of a better way. Because if we attack with Angeal first, and then we would only have to dull 1 guy for a trade. Oh, we're just gonna pop the Angeal. Anyway, why not dull the Angeal? So Angeal's a soldier. We could dull Angeal to lose 2,000 power on Kefka, and then put Angeal in the break zone when he's dull to give the Roche plus 3k. And then we still have this Matt who can attack. This is interesting. Oh, and he just replayed the Roche here? I was gonna say, he didn't have that in his hand, right? Oh, wait, he did. Wait, how did he get that back? Oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Zach plays it from the break zone. I'm sorry, guys. I should read the fucking card. Zach says he plays it from the break zone. So that's why he attacked with Roche first so that it could come back and that we could actually get in that lethal point, potentially. Oh, no, we actually still miss it. But 6 damage. We bring the Roche back from the discard pile. We get that attack in with Roche anyway. But I still think we could have... So we actually would have had it, right? If we had just done that all with Angeal, we would have won. Because we would have been able to attack with Matt. So if we had just dulled the Angeal, cracked the Angeal into the Roche, traded Roche with Kefka, then attack with Zach, bring Roche back in, then attack with Roche, then attack with Matt, then attack with Red, and then game. Greg Redeem, give us a hint about the spoiler. Oh, brother. A hint about the spoiler. Well... It shares... Let's see. I don't know, man. I oscillate between, do I want to just go with the boring things, like have you pick something about the card and tell you what it is, or do I want to do like the hinty, like guessy kind of things, like, oh, it shares a job with a card on the table right now. Like, that's kind of, ooh, you know, who knows? Oh, what could it be? Avalanche Operative, Standard Unit, Pilot, Soldier, Warrior, Mage, Engineer, Warrior of Light, Mysterious Woman, or Star Sybil. Like, that's maybe a little too vague, although fun to speculate. So we'll give a job hint. This card has 2 jobs, in fact. The first of its 2 jobs is Assassin, which, as of right now, doesn't really mean much for us. You know, what is in a... Are there even any... Do we have existing assassin cards? Maybe like a... Maybe a Shadow? But are Shadows assassins instead of ninjas? They might be. I have to look this up now before I continue. You would think I would have looked this up beforehand. But considering I've never considered playing Shadow... Oh, God. I've never considered putting Shadow in a Ninja's deck. I feel like he probably is Assassin. He is Assassin. How about that? Okay. Well, this is another Assassin. However, it's not Shadow. Because this Assassin has a second job. And I will say its second job is the one that one of the cards on the table had. Any guesses? Any guesses? I guess I should clarify the card has been on the table, but it is no longer on the table as the board has changed significantly since we talked about that before. An Assassin Warrior? It feels a little redundant. I mean, I guess anything with 2 jobs can feel redundant, you know what I mean? But also, it's not like that wouldn't be a class, subclass. You could easily do it in any game that had both those jobs. But no, he's not an Assassin Warrior. Now, the word warrior might be in there somewhere. Maybe, you know, maybe you're not so far off, actually. Maybe you're not so far off. It's so interesting that there's multiple options here. It's not Dawn Warrior, okay? It's Warrior of Light. I've got Assassin, / Warrior of Light is the job of the card that I have for you guys. Oh, that could mean all kinds of things. Or it could mean nothing at all. I'll let your imaginations run wild. Okay. Well, that one was a win for the Final Fantasy VII deck. Although I gotta tell you, I think it was kind of like he was already a deck going wide against a deck that's shown you that it cannot play a Shantoto. He's given you the green light. I cannot play backup Shantoto. I cannot play Limit Break Shantoto. That's not gonna happen. You're good to go. So we said sweet, and we just put a bunch of 2-drop Weenie Warriors on the table. Now I know eventually. We went the Neo X Death route and we did clear the table up, but Irving's deck actually does have quite a bit of haste in it. It's interesting to see. Both these guys are talking about it, and interesting. I love when the players kind of talk through lines they had and what they were thinking between at the end of the game. So I don't know if you can, you can't quite see it on stream here, but Brian said I should have done it the other way. I should have played Sid Highwind and then X Death, and then, or rather, after he played Sid, I would do the X Death, yeah. And then Irving's like, yeah, freeze me down, yeah. And they were just kind of talking through it a little bit. But, yeah, I think he unfortunately just was playing a deck that is trying to kind of go toe-to-toe and not have the wipes. And then Irving's like, sick, I'm playing a deck that goes really wide and, like, attacks and plays guys out of the discard pile. There's, like, a bunch of 2-drop weenie dudes with tap effects. And I think it was just, like, a bad matchup here for Brian. It does indeed narrow the categories a bit. You're not wrong, Kurt. I think Assassin is a really interesting combination for Warrior of Light. Like, that's pretty niche compared to what some of the other combinations would be. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that, Fatty. I think that there's nothing wrong with talking through lines at the end of the game. And just kind of getting some feedback from the opponent. Oh, damn, Greg, he says he's figured it out, dude. He is 100% sure he has figured it out and doesn't know if he wants to ruin it early. All right. Who knows, dude? There's all kinds of people with 2-drop with Warrior Light. Look at this Bartz. Barris is a pirate on one of her cards, right? I think Pirate Warrior Light. Wanderer Warrior Light. Who knows, dude? Oh, just so I know you're not bluffing? Oh, damn, dude. I'm ready to be so impressed. It's so difficult to figure out the patterns that they use for these things. But, alright, dude, let's give you your flowers. Let's see. Oh, that was loud. Let me make this less loud. Oh, that's too less loud. There we go. That volume seems better. It looks better. Alright, we are going to load. This is done. Do we even have results in for these other tables yet? I don't think so. Probably not. Maybe 1 or 2. Oh, actually, we've got table 1, 2, and 3. So let me punch those in, and then we'll go check out table 4. So table 1, Irving got that one 7-1. This guy can play whatever he wants now. He's free. Table 2, although I'll tell you what, Irving's the kind of guy who plays whatever he wants anyway. I think Turbo Ice is what he won the LQ with. Table 3, Mark 7, Matt 6. So Mark took that one 7-6 over Matt Pullen. Mark is the defending champ from last week. And then table 4 is still cooking. That's Xavier versus Tyler Ray. FF in general is really good about that. I've yet to play against someone that wasn't saying something positive, says the Fatty. Well, you know, you'll always, every community, every game has those people. You're gonna run into people sometimes where there's a disagreement or something rubbed the wrong way, or they had a bad day or something. But for the most part, I think it comes with the fact that like most, again, there's exceptions all over the place, but for the most part, people who like Final Fantasy as a franchise probably grew up playing Final Fantasy. And most people who grew up playing Final Fantasy were old enough to be playing video games in the 90s. Why? Because they only make a Final Fantasy game like once every 10 years now. So a lot of people, a lot of kids, like, they don't even, it was not even around. It wasn't even something like words that they heard that, I mean, I know that we have had the Final Fantasy VII games more recently coming out pretty regularly, but like the amount of time between Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 15, and then between Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 16. And I know that 14 is in there somewhere, but that's an MMO and that's kind of like a whole different thing. So like it's very different from when we grew up, or well, I say we, but when a lot of us grew up here, I think we were reading gaming magazines where these were like the most anticipated games of the year back to back to back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like these were constantly talked about instead of a game that's talked about once a decade. So I think what you end up with that is a age range that skews higher, and I think the higher the age range skews, in general, you just have more mature behavior on average, I'll say. Obviously, there's outliers all over the place, but there we go. Yeah, it's so funny to look back at that now too, Kurt, right? Because it's like, yeah, 8 used to get so much shit just for being like a little bit different. And now 8 is, they're like, actually guys, they wound up fucking them up so bad that 8's, looking back at it, 8's one of the best ones. Looking back at it, it turns out that anything that was actually too close to the, anything that was close enough to the original recipe is pretty good. Final Fantasy 2 was also not well received. That's true. I mean, I don't know how well it was received in Japan. And I know that obviously over here we feel some kind of way about it, but they never really released it over here. So I think any time that Final Fantasy 2 ever released over here, it was more of like a niche project and like they were happy to translate it and release it for us, like on Final Fantasy Origins and on Final Fantasy Dawn of Souls and things like that, but I don't think they ever believed in their heart that Final Fantasy 2 was going to be a standalone Western release that saw success, you know? 8 does still look like ass, I'll agree with that one, dude. When you try too hard to go for realism, it doesn't age very well sometimes, but a game that is a more simple look and kind of leans into it and has that consistent aesthetic is usually just, it ages better because even at the time it was making some artistic sacrifices for like a cohesive aesthetic, right? Alright, so what do we have here? We've got a Firewind deck, which is cool, man. I sure love Firewind. I think this Furion is one of the coolest Limit Break cards. He's so good. It's just that the whole deck you build around this guy has never quite been sorted. It looks like this is a Firewind Crystals deck. I know this type of thing very well. I played Firewind Crystals as one of my 2 decks at Nats 2025. This is being piloted by Mr. Tyler Ray against Irving, no, sorry, not Irving. I saw the D. The Will of D. This is Xavier. Xavier playing MBM. Actually, been seeing some success with MBM here in the weekly recently. MBM in general has been seeing a lot of success here in the weekly recently, and just in general throughout the world. In all 3 regions, MBM has been putting up some great numbers. So I think it's a wonderful starter deck. I think it does a lot to teach you a lot about a lot of different kind of basic mechanics of the game in a really good way. I think it's easy and cheap to build. I think it's fun to play. Really good deck to start out with if you've got people at your locals who are starting, who are kind of interested in going beyond whatever starter deck they've purchased. I'm sure you've got an extra MBM deck just sleeved up if it's not the thing you're playing. It's so easy to keep this deck sleeved up. The only cards you even really need to get for it that you might have tied up in other lists are like the 3 multi-element lightnings or something like that, but it's very easy to hand someone this deck. And even if they're starting out, you can give them the deck without the lightning package in it. You can put something else in it. It would work. It wouldn't work as well, but it would work just fine, especially for learning how to play. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's a really good deck to exist right now, and it's cool that it's putting up numbers. Yeah, really good deck for teaching and playing. Crystals, I have been summoned, he says. Yeah. Welcome, Mr. Irving. Yeah, dude, this is looking an awful lot like the deck I took to Nats last year. I'm very familiar with this board state. However, with no crystals and our opponent doing this, we're pretty. Looks like we are entering what they call the bone zone. Oh no, never mind. The game is over because he spent the crystals and he typed 9K. The crystals are already gone because he just did it right now. The person entering the bone zone is Xavier, because he did this. He blasted. These all die, and then he literally types GG. Yeah. Now you have Yuffie. Yeah, I mean she's big, right? It's a really big deal to get cards that add 2 crystals at a time that aren't called Light Lucio. All right, very cool. So this one is going to be Tyler getting that 7-3. Interesting little back and forth here from these players. Again, more players talking shop after the game. Xavier saying, I should have respected the Emperor. Is he saying I should have killed the Emperor way earlier, the LB Emperor? Tyler said, yeah, I think he drew like 4 cards for me. So that's something. Xavier said, yeah, I just tried playing a little differently and it backfired. So it's really interesting to see people talking about that too, right? Like, hey, I understood that this was a threat. I like tried to just alter my play around it, but now I understand like I should have respected that thing a little better, and I should probably have killed him earlier. Some good reflection there. All right, moving to the next round. Looks like Matt pulling. Sorry, buddy, you've got the bye. Get the pairings up in just a second here. All right, heck yeah, cool. Not hitting sand before the crystals were gained. Yeah, that too. If we had something, I don't know if we had something in hand that we could use. The back Nami is here, but we don't have enough backups. The Hurdy doesn't do it. Yeah, maybe, I don't know if he didn't have enough cards to cast or something, but yeah. Unfortunately, the Cyan got to do the whole thing. He showed Odin. Yeah, but did he have the cards to pay for it? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, this was his hand, huh? Yeah, so he definitely could have paid for it. At first, I couldn't tell if this lightning was in play, but she's over here. Unless maybe he was showing that he was going to use these 2 things from his discard pile to like replay her. I'm not 100% sure, but obviously I do see this Odin. You're right that if he had the Odin and we were trying to pay for the crystals with the Cyan and they weren't already on the table, we absolutely should have killed him before the crystals were gained so that he could not do the thing. Absolutely correct. All right, we're pairing the next round, folks. We are pairing the next round. We have already given out one hint about our spoiler, which is that we have a job assassin / warrior of light. Very interesting. Does this have any implications for assassin decks? Who knows? Are assassins even a thing? Does this have any implication for warrior light decks? Who knows? Are warrior of lights even a thing? Find out more soon. MBM won the Atlanta LQ. Yeah, sure did. Mr. Mike Powell's been playing a lot of MBM recently. And, I mean, yeah, that guy could probably win an LQ with damn near anything, but he certainly chose to do it with MBM. He's been playing that. He played it at PA, did okay, bubbled out, needed to run it back. Determination in his heart. So he went down there and he took care of business. That's what we like to do. We just like to send out, North Carolina, we like to send our agents out into the world and conquer. He was your second game. He's a toughie, dude. You gotta growl at him. It unsettles him. You sit across the table from him, you just start growling. Like a low growl. That's a secret, that's a Mike Powell tip. Alright, the tables are up. Do we want to go? Where do we want to go? Where do we want to go? I like how I said and asked that kind of at the same time. Like, both stated and asked. Irving versus Greg. I mean, I like always watching Irving. We don't know what Greg is up to yet, but I think not. I think, let's go to table 2. Let's watch June versus Mark. Mark won last week with MBM, I believe. We keep a little record of that, so I can tell you in a second if I'm right or if I have silly brain. Oh no, he won last week with Wind, Water, Storm. I have silly brain. He won with Wind, Water, Storm. Looks like he is absolutely not playing Wind, Water, Storm this week. We're changing decks. We're trying something else, which we kind of love to see that. So here we've got June up top with, I believe it looks like it's got to be MBM. We only see a Bagnami. And on the bottom, we see what looks like a... This is the most turn 2 Barts I've ever seen in my life, this board state. Look at the board. Anyone who's ever played a Barts deck, look at Mark's board and tell me this is not the most turn 2 Barts you've ever seen. Alright, Mark is going down here on the left, and then June is on the right, AK on top. Yeah, Luso is a hell of a card. Storm is good. Alright, there we go. Names are up. Games are up. And I'm wondering where my water is. Where's my water? I'll be right back, folks. I gotta get my drink. I gotta get my drinky drink. Alright, we're back and we've got delicious water. Rosa, Luso, Lulu, some oldies still kicking. Yeah, the deck is definitely... I mean, Chocobo, Asura, anybody? King Tycoon. That deck is making some oldies sing. But you know what? They're oldies but goodies. Strong cards, be strong. Still, nobody has anything on Opus 1 Shantoto, man. I'll tell you. But we watched a deck tonight where somebody tried to be brave enough to play a different backup Shantoto, and they were absolutely not punished for their hubris. I mean, that's probably not exactly. I mean, he did. So he actually did play a star symbol at like the penultimate turn, which in most normal situations would have been able to search for an answer that was not Neo Extend. That's right. If they work, they work. The old ain't broke. Hey, don't fix it. Oh, I love a good deal. All right. We bring back stuff like Brother in Pain for Gullwing deck. Oh yeah, Brother been around longer than that. Before the Silver Band, we were running Yuna, a 2CP Yuna backup. Yeah, I like her a lot. I think really it wasn't that we didn't stop running Yuna because they cut Sildra. We stopped running Yuna because the only water summon that we want to cast costs 1 CP. In my opinion. As a mono water lover and a Yuna player since the dawn of time, I started to find it very silly to be playing a backup that only discounts, like, I'd be playing like 3 Kukulane and then some cancel Leviathan, and I'm like, so great, I'm discounting half of my summons. Like, why am I even playing this card? There's just so many good cards now that's not quite, it's not quite it. If we were still casting water summons like that, man, surely we'd still be playing Yuna. It's not hard to find a backup like that you really need, you know? Like these, you know, people play decks that have like kind of, I don't know that they're build arounds, but neither was Yuna, right? But they play these 2CP like, kind of like cornerstone backup cards, and they just play 3 of them and some card advantage, you know? But I mean, I love the fact that this game is designed in such a way that all they need to do is print like one interesting new card, and all of a sudden you go all the way back to the well and you're like, oh shit, we could play Brother from Opus 1, you know? Like that kind of stuff is really informed design, and I think that it's one of my favorite things about this game. It means that there are so many angles to do creative deck building, and I think, and I've said this 100 times, but I think this game rewards creative deck building better than any TCG I've ever played. Water summons is Lev 6, Ku can cancel Lev. Yeah, but we don't really play Lev 6. We only want to EX burst it. We don't want to cast Lev 6. And we only play cancel Lev sometimes. So again, it's like 3 Kukulane for sure. And then maybe sometimes you'll play 1 summon you would like to discount. And if you're casting Lev 6, dude, you're already fucked. Like, if you're hard casting Lev 6, things are going horribly wrong. Ice Lightning, dude, I'll tell you. Ice Lightning is one that feels like it's always been like right under the surface, ready to pop. Like, it's always right there and doesn't quite get there. I think it's a hard balancing act for Ice Lightning from a development side, but yeah, I think that one's always like just right there, right there. Like a Turk angle there that's kind of interesting. Final Fantasy 8 angle there that's kind of interesting. Oh boy, so we've got this deck has kind of transitioned into being an ice. Oh no, sorry, this isn't the same. We were watching before was the Fire Wind deck. This is a different Crystal Gamer. So we're watching what is certainly an Ice Fire Crystals deck that's got, of course, featuring Bartz. How could he not be making an appearance here? But very much all in on the Fire and the Ice thing. We did get old Salamander 3 into play off of Axstar. Looks like we aren't even paying to kill anything with it. We're just gonna let it ride. Oh man, seeing the Opus 4, or sorry, not Opus 4, this is 4CP, Opus 27 starter Charlotte go to damage. I don't know how many of them we're playing in our MBM deck as a tech slot. However, I will say that this Charlotte is the kind of thing you want to see in your hand against a Crystals deck that you know is playing like Cyan, and that you know has these Yazoo, the Laws, like these type of action abilities that they can use. Unfortunate to see her go over to damage, but you do have to deal with these two guys who have auto ability on attack triggers that are going to wreck you. So yeah, we're going to kill the Axstar first because he kills somebody for free when he attacks. Salamander at least has to pay for the pleasure, but we sure will play. We sure will pay, and we will sure get pleasure from this guy attacking next turn. We're definitely going to blow up 2 forwards with him, so let's try and find some way to deal with it. No, maybe it looks like we are just attacking. And then dulling the Salamander with Balthier's trigger. And then we're going to let this one go. A good example is the new ATP Luso has us looking at old FFTA2 cards. Yeah, I do also love the little art style thing they've got going on with those. I think it's so cool. I love that. That's a great way to put it. Luso's a thinker card. Will it pay off? Not sure, but it gets the thinking cap on. Yeah, dude, that is a coffee and bullshit card if I've ever seen one. You know what I'm saying? That could be an idea. I normally really don't like building with new cards before we see all the new cards, because a lot of times you're trying to fuck with a tool that is made, it's designed to come with other context or other parts, and you just don't have it. So like, I don't know. I don't know how much I love that. Usually I just refrain from doing any kind of testing or building any list with new cards until I see everything. But for Coffee and Bullshit, a show that is specifically about us playing like some nonsense against each other that doesn't matter, could be fun to do something like that right before the new set comes out, like a future roast or something. But see, I'd rather save all of those ideas. Like, I feel like I'd be, you know, when it's like it's not ready yet, but you're like, oh, I want to eat it right now, and then it's like not as good as it's going to be later. But then by the time it's ready, you're like, well, I already had some. I just want to eat it when it's ready, you know? Oh, we got old Vaughn Mattingly out here on the field. Up at bat. Vaughn Mattingly. Things are going to start looking a little rough for the other side of the table. I mean, No-No's already down, but... Yeah, we're just... Actually, I don't know. Because we need to remove these threats, right? I'm like, oh, things are going to be looking rough. No, they're not, because we need to kill all these dudes. We're at 5 damage. Salamander is here. Salamander can kill 2 blockers. We got to do something about that. Can we win? Oh, maybe we can win. We attack with Balthier and we double pump the Vaughn, and then we dull the Cyan. Okay, actually, we're just going for lethal. So, we're fine. Because we're going to give Vaughn Mattingly the double tap, and we had the Balthier. So, we represent 3 extra points of damage. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, it's time to see what we can do here. Yeah, we'll see if we can get an EX Warrior of Light. EX Warrior of Light, we need him. We need him now. We need him yesterday. Oh, boy. And that's game. Dude, that's what... You have to respect MBM, man. You gotta respect the MBM. The Vaughn plus Balthier is 3 points of damage, and the Balthier can dull your blocker. So you go there with no cards in hand, and he's got 2 attackers. You're at 2 damage. All he needs to find is 3. I mean, that's some basic algebra, man. Balthier is got a big old 3 on his forehead. Sometimes with, you know, it's tough. Because you can see, like, oh, Balthier hates one guy, but then if you're not seeing the Vaughn line specifically, you don't see where the 3 comes from, right? That's pretty tough. Well, good game to June on MBM. MBM, absolutely one of the best. Water Lightning in general has been this way for years now, but it is one of the best decks at kind of closing out a game out of what seems like nowhere. You really got to respect it. Switching tables. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I didn't realize. I'm hearing them just now in my ears that the Final Fantasy XI sounds are just like on. So you're randomly hearing like people craft and like crystals every once in a while and like casting sounds. I'm gonna go just muted that. Sorry. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we like that ambiance, right? Maybe that's like Final Fantasy ambiance. It makes us feel like we're in town or something. I don't know, but. It's so faint you can barely hear it. Yeah, but the thing is, it's there. Right? I also, of course you can barely hear it, because I barely heard it. I didn't realize it until just now. But when I realized it, it was because it was quiet and somebody did something in Final Fantasy XI. So, that's when I realized, uh-oh, it's been polluting the sound the whole time. Uh-oh. It's okay. You won't hear it anymore. Let's see. That's done. Did we have other reports? Surely. It can't be any worse than crafting spam from any data center in 14. Yeah, probably. You know what the nicer thing is about the Final Fantasy XI crafting is you don't hear like that kind of shit like tick 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 tick. You don't hear all that crap. Ding ding. Alright. We've got 1, 2, and 4, which means table 3 is still cooking. Let's go see what old Tyler's up to. Old knuckle cucked over here. While I punch some results in. Let me get my old calculatey out here. Alright, table 1, we had Greg take it 7-1 over Irving. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We don't know what Greg's on this week, but he got that bye round 1. He took out Irving round 2. He's on a tear. He's on a tear. June, 7-5 over Mark. And now table 3, actually, we're going to see it's Tyler versus Brian. If Brian wins here, he gives us a nice clean break for round 3. If Tyler wins, we still got 3 undefeateds going into the next round. Let's see. Table 4, we had Xavier take that 1-7-0 over Kurt. Save that. Alright. Moving on. I know that none of you asked. But, I guess one of the hints I'll give you about the spoiler is that Greg was right. He has absolutely identified the character and the category. And I think you too you too, detectives at home, with your super sleuthing skills, could probably also identify said character and category. But I will say it is a wall from Mobius. Says Greg. Greg guessed as much. Yes. He is even wearing, I think, we'll see the art later here in a minute when we show the spoiler, but he is even wearing, like, the Shadow outfit from Final Fantasy VI. Basically, he's wearing a costume inspired by Shadow's Amano art costume. You hear everything in Final Fantasy 14. It's why I go to my guild to craft. At least it's quiet there, despite how active it is. Yeah, in Final Fantasy 11, you can craft near the vendor and near the auction house, but a lot of people craft in their Mog house instead for two reasons. One, your Mog house is instanced house as your instance content. It also includes your like delivery box, so whenever you send things to and from yourself, they come in the delivery box, so you can. It's not like WoW. When you buy something from the auction house, it goes right in your inventory. It doesn't go to your mailbox. But you do send things back and forth between like your mules when you're crafting. So you can get materials from your mules while you're in your Mog house easily. And then when you craft in your Mog house, people can't see what you're crafting because you're not in a public space. There's no crafting log. So you kind of hide what you're crafting. So if you're crafting something you don't want people to know you're making, you don't want it to pop up in the box and somebody sees like lacquer tree sap and they're like, lacquer tree sap, that's interesting. And then they look it up on the auction house. They're like, oh my God, this sells for blah, blah, blah. And then they look it up and they go, oh, that's pretty easy for me to make. And now you've got a competitor in your market, you know? So people like to craft in their Mog house a lot for a lot of reasons. But that being said, the most convenient place to craft, it's right there where you're getting all the mats, right? It's right next to the auction house counter. So a lot of people are out there just in town, just getting it near the auction house, which is where I am in game right now. I'm near the Port Juno auction house. My man's still crafting in Power World. I think we're up to level 20... I think I'm level 24, 25 in Pal World. I think we're up to. We really desperately need a forward base. We still just have like our starter base, but I need somewhere where we can get a lot of ore and shit. 21, hell yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, brother. We play it like literally we get on at like 1 a.m., which I know is the exact opposite of when you are up and at 'em. But on the weekend or something, one of these days, we'll link up. I do think it's kind of fun to see, like, to randomly stumble upon things in the world that other people have created. Like, oh, this world is lived in. You know what I mean? Oh, you can do that? Well, I'm saying that's where we're at. I assume that you have like real life things that require your attention that aren't work related, that are more family related, but you know. Yeah, normally, because what we do, hey guys, this is my degenerate behavior. What we do is we play Final Fantasy 11 with a bunch of people until real late. And then when I'm done playing Final Fantasy 11 with everybody and I'm like, what should I play now that everyone's done playing this? That's when I transition to Power World. We did get our Mott's cap for anybody who's been following that story. So I am wearing Mott's hat now. The Limit Break Mott that we're also familiar with. I don't know if there's one in this deck. But my character is now wearing his hat. Yeah, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what I thought. I'm look, man, it's okay. It's okay to have like real life and family stuff. In fact, it is strictly better for you to not be on the sleep schedule that I'm on. I'm the embodiment of revenge bedtime procrastination, brother. Live vicariously through me. Hey, Mihung, how's it going? Does Brian's Break Zone have Dawn Warriors? Well, isn't that a great question? Oh, because there's some Break Zone shenanigan. Yeah, my man Brian is Dawn Warriored up, dude. He's got them all. He's got multiple versions of all of them in here. My man's got Kelgers. He's got Zazats. He even has the friggin' Earth Zazat in here. He's got them all, man. Oh, is this on Materia Hunter? Yeah, I mean, this is pretty neat. It's just got a lot of Final Fantasy V stuff in it, and it's kind of built around the light Barts, which is cool. I mean, unfortunately, it looks like he's getting blasted right now, but the deck is cool. Yeah, my man is super fucking dead, but the deck is neat. Unfortunately, here's one of the problems with this deck. It's greedy. It's so greedy. We're playing this Shantoto. We're acting like we don't need a 7 CP Shantoto or an LB Shantoto. And then our games look like this. He's saying, "Come on, Odins, dude." Come on, Odins. He's typing in the chat. My man is Praga mode, dude. He does technically have Odins in the deck. Haste can't be chosen. No whammies one time. Here it goes. All right, so we're paying for haste on Yuffie. We're paying for she cannot be chosen by opponent's abilities, and we're coming in hot. No whammy. Coming in again. No whammy, and that's it. That's game. GG. So Tyler winning this one with Fire win. So 3 undefeated players remain as we go into round 3. Should be praying for the meteor. Yeah, that's sometimes that's the only out, you know? The old meteor out. That is a rare line, but you got to play to your outs sometimes. Oh man, gamers. Has anybody been excited by any of these recent spoilers from the new set? We've got a lot of them recently. They showed a lot of cards randomly. The Dawn Warriors, of course. I mean, we're already looking at this Dawn Warriors list that Brian's playing tonight, and anybody who's even remotely excited by that has got to be hyped about all these Dawn Warrior spoilers we've seen. They're coming back. Nibiru, the primal being, could... That's right, they could crash the game. You never know. I was pretty excited by the new Barts. I bought so many Chocobos that I might have a problem. Hey, look, you know. Let's go visit some Chocobos. They're right here. They're right beneath our feet, actually, are some Chocobos. Let's go say hi. Go see my girl Callie, dude. I have a sickness and the only cure is more category 9. Yeah, we really want the old, the new Zidane, huh? He's so sick they spoiled him twice. Alright, here you go, guys. We're hanging out with the Chocobos, dude. And my girl Caffey, dude. Caffey knows what's up. There you go. We'll hang out with the birds. We'll hang out with the birds. So far, it's Chocobos with the Barts and the Luso that has my attention. They kind of on the fire cards lately. Yeah, that's fair. I think the fire stuff we've seen so far, they've been pushing it kind of in the Cat 9 direction with the spoiler, the Zidane. New Shantoto stuff is... hey, look, I am a sucker for Final Fantasy 11. I've already been playing the shit out of the space chair, dude. I love my chair. And New Apuru, and I've been playing those guys a lot, and I'm like, man, there's really something here that I like a lot. And then they revealed those cards, and I'm like, okay, say no more. Yes, sir. Yes, so we shall. And so we shall. This day might be alright with Lonnie. Dude, I'm here for the return of Lonnie. That's hype. Yorin Kefka, for sure the Mage Kefka deck. He lines up with the colors just right and everything, for sure, that's a thing. Mr. Kurt is dropping. Okay, well that I'm getting these pairings together, and that is exactly the thing I need to know. Let me drop you here. Alright. These guys didn't report their table. Tyler? That's right. Good job. Thank you. The Hien! Dark Hien! Oh my goodness. There's a throwback, dude. What a guy. Final Fantasy 3 Hien? Crystal Tower Hien? Table 3 Tyler versus Brian. That's okay, brother. That's okay, brother. I'll forgive you this one time. I got a Kurt drop. And I've got round 3. Alright, gamers. Let's see. Players. Pairings are up for returners. Hideout. Oop. Number 3. Oh my god. Pairings are up. And I'm typing it in the results. And then I was following the thing, so I started typing for returners hideout. Oh my god. Players. Pairings are for round 3. More like it. Alright guys, I'm trying something a little spicy. And I'm putting 25. No, I'm not. I'm not brave enough. I'm putting 830. I'm not brave enough. I was like, I'm gonna put 25 and post it with like 2 minutes, but everybody's been waiting for the round to start, so it won't be a big deal. Nope. Always rather give people extra time than somebody feel like I shorted them. We'll start at 8:30, but you guys can start whenever you're ready. Alright, fun guess on this card has to be a Strangers of Paradise card. Was paying a bit of attention to my talk with Xavier. Missed a bit of the clues. So yeah, you know that it's an assassin with a dual job. Thinking maybe it's a, thinking maybe it might be somebody from Sopfo, huh? Now, that would be somebody who could be like a multi-job or a dual job, and I don't know if Assassin is in the game, but I believe it if it is. However, I did say it is a wall. So it is a WOL wall. A WOL wall means he is in fact Mobius. How are you, my king? Oh, I'm doing good, sir. Thank you. No. The crown is yours. Okay, we got a couple people ready to go. Where's our table 1 though? Oh wait, is table 1 the pair down? It always does this. Tyler, Greg, and June are undefeated. Tyler and Greg are playing at table 1. Nope, so who knows? Sometimes this time it did it right. So table 1 is the undefeated table. Let's go watch Greg versus Tyler. No, it's Wall. It's Wall. I know I also said it's a Warrior of Light because Wall is a Warrior of Light. But it is Wall. 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 Who knows what he could do, though, you know? That's the real question. Has a job Onion Knight. Oh, but we are... Well, I did say... Oh, I see what you're saying. You had to check if Mobius had an Onion Knight just in general, since, like, for yourself. Like, wondering if that guy has an Onion Knight job, yeah. I hear you, sorry. Oh my god, these fucking clowns, dude. Oh, you guys, what are you doing? What are we doing? You boys are lucky I love both of you, dude. We got Greg accidentally loaded the wrong deck, so he needs to reload, but my man has already started and said he really likes his hand. He has a good start. So he's like, can't you just like move your whole card to the fucking remove from game and then load a new deck? Oh my god. Oh my god. No. No way, bro. Alright, we're gonna go check table 2. We're gonna go check table 2 right quick. Oh, Lord. Technical issues. Please stand by at table 1. Please stand by. We are going to table 2 now. Live in the chopper. God. Okay. You know, meanwhile, over here at table 2, we're doing nice, normal things. We're being upstanding citizens. We got a proper game. Look at, building all of our backups. Oh, no, you please. No, you please build your backups. Oh, no, please, I insist you build your backups. Oh, Matt is actually on a fire water crystal. So we have a fire water crystal, a fire ice crystal, and a fire wind crystal variant all in the list tonight. How about that? Please yell at UV to damage. Oh, we got a real back and forth here. How are things going back at the ranch at table 1? So currently here, June is the undefeated player, and Matt has got 1 game under his belt. Is trying to take a second here. I will say that MBM looks like we're pretty established. I mean, we're in a position where We have 5 backups with a back Nami down and a Gurdy down. So we have 2 pieces of removal on the back line ready to go. We have already gotten some points of damage on the board, so we're setting up for kind of that big lethal later. And we got plenty of momentum left. All of our limit break is left, so we can easily just play an Ash next turn and we're off to the races. Our opponent is actually doing a pretty great play here. We got the Clive, prime it to Ifrit. Ifrit's going to kill the Balthier. We'll attack, we'll clear the Fran. Punish June for going down to 1 card in hand, hopefully, and having these backups tapped right now, because when next turn, if the Gurdy's up, right, we're just going to be able to remove the Ifrit before he attacks or does his as a trigger to deal damage. So I'm not sure what we're... Oh, did we? Okay, we played a Clive, or did we prime this Ifrit? I can't quite tell. We did prime into Ifrit. Okay, so that should be gone. We should remove that from the game, because otherwise it's just going to keep playing it onto the... Actually, no, it's probably fine. But yeah, it's back. He's back! Are we trying to like prime it? Okay, yeah, he's putting that back in his deck. Now he's gonna play the... Oh. Okay, he primed it in an Ifrit. Okay, and then turn us out. Okay, all set. All good. We figured it out. They went back and did it the right way, which I appreciate. So everything is sorted. And then we put... Oh, pff, God, dude. We're snipers. Yuna straight to damage. No Yuna this game. We'll check back in on this one. God, I mean, we gotta go over to the main game. We have to go over to the main game. At table 1. Did we? I don't know. I'll tell you right now, at table 1, Greg is playing a Water Lightning deck like he has been with his Scion stuff going on in it. And it sure looks like my man has had to play... Was this a turn 1 Lunafreya, or was this a turn none Lunafreya? Let's see. Yeah, my man had a turn 1 Lunafreya, so that's not great. I mean, he hit Thornton, which is one of the best things you can do, and then he went and he got a 2 CP backup. But basically, Greg is sitting there with Oriandra on the table, and he's already had his Lunafreya killed. And on the other side of the table, Tyler has already resolved the Barts, has Yuffie out, and has 3 backups. So a little bit uphill battle here for Greg. He really wants to build as much as he can this turn. Maybe it's probably going to be Thornton into backup, so that the Ashes are alive, so that Yuffie has to do something before she attacks, otherwise risk dying to an Ash. And then we can play the game from there off 4 backups. We're going to take these first 2 licks on the noggin. Going back to the game that we're looking on the screen here, we've got Water Fire Crystals versus MBM. Water Fire Crystals has Soul out. Soul does have that neat action ability. We can give all the forwards that we control plus 2,000 for each crystal. Only 1 crystal right now, so only 1 buff that we're threatening, which just brings him up to 7, which isn't really enough to hang with the no-no. So we're going to have to move this guy out of the way just to attack with Soul. And when Soul attacks, sorry, it's when a party you control. He doesn't even have to be in it, but he gains crystals that way as well. Oh, 5 CP Cloud. Yeah, this guy's been seeing more and more play recently. I like him a lot. Any modal card where more than 2 of the modes are relevant in most games is just really, really strong. His 4 modes are deal a forward 8,000 damage, always relevant. Choose a monster, break it, questionably relevant. Choose up to 2 cards of your opponent's break zone, remove them from the game, draw a card, always relevant. Play 1 category 7 character, 4 less from your hand on the field. Probably never relevant in this deck, so then why do we play Cloud? Well, we were looking to take advantage of lines 1 and 3 in most games, and I think we were actually just looking for some monster removal, some monster answer. So we have Cloud in here. He does have minor FF7 synergy, but I don't know that we have anything that cares about our FF7 synergy. Like maybe we have, we may have, what's his name back up? The, like a Sid Highwind or something, potentially, but... This Cloud does have, he's a little bit of an answer for monsters. So if you were looking to have an answer for monsters and then access to 2 modes you're going to use all the time, nothing wrong with having him in the deck. Oh, the Security Officer, yes. If they play the Security Officer backup, yeah, you can play that from the Cloud. That's pretty good. Or Cloud can play the Yuffie from hand. Oh, that's true. It's a 4 or less from hand. So yeah, playing the Yuffie is actually the line. There you go. Thank you, Kurt. I was like, yeah, I don't know how relevant that is. Meanwhile, he like just did it in front of my face. Literally chose to play the Yuffie with that mode. Yeah, I don't know. I just completely gapped that. She's literally sitting right there. He literally just did it. Yeah. So I would say modes 1, 3, and 4 often relevant in this deck, and then the monster removal is something that you are also probably looking to get access to, a little cherry on top. So yeah, that makes him a good inclusion in the deck. Fits in nicely. Firion comes in sideways as he does, draws that extra card, which is nice, and clears the damage to 3, putting a Vaughn in the damage zone. Now, we have not too many cards in hand, but we have all of our limit breaks, so I think an Ash is a really good place to start here for June. A little bit unfortunate that No-No's already on the table, since, man, we would love to just play another No-No. Clear. The Firion is going to be drawing a card every turn. Alright, meanwhile, back at the ranch, let's give you guys a play-by-play on what I see at the other table. Okay, so Greg did get to 4 backups. He hit the Kukulane as his first damage when the attacks came through, and then had Ash on the next turn. So it's kind of exactly what I said earlier, where he really wants to get to 4 backups and then play the game from there so that cards like Ash are alive. Meanwhile, on the other side of the table, we just we built another backup. We're playing Firion Limit Break. We've got 4 crystals now, so we're just continuing to build out a wider and bigger board on Tyler's side of the table. Starting to make it look a little scary for Greg. I think it's time to start, I don't know, we have the Ashtola stuff going on in here, but it is time to start looking at Zoral Ja, some other, just like some spot removal on some of these scarier dudes. Okay, table 2, we're here. You know what? I mean, the reason I didn't put the names up is because we're not at the table we originally intended to go to, and we're swapping. Feels like a little bit like we're swapping back and forth, but this is June on the bottom, and this is Matt on top. June in a decent spot actually plays the Pinello first here. Again, why not just play Ash and then pay 1 CP and play the Pinello off of her? He's got no active backups. If he does go for the Ama, like, you still have the Pinello backup play. No, interesting to me. Looks like there's a judge call. There's a judge call for me. Let's go look. Judge calls. No. All right. Judge question. Ice Wind Sid Hayes says the next card you cast costs 2 less to cast. Does that work with the Ice Kefka that says you can pay Isolating Earth instead of the cost to cast him? Mark, I'm deleting your reply because you are not a judge. That's exactly it. You know, if they're asking you somewhere else, feel free to answer. But if they're asking and judge calls, we let the judges answer. So, and yeah, that is absolutely correct. We can reduce the cost. Honestly, when Kefka was first shown and the answer, people asked that about Sid and we got that confirmation, it felt like it was a sure thing that we were going to see those guys in a deck together. And we just didn't really see that happen as much. You know, Kefka's asking you to play Lightning, Ice, and Earth. Meanwhile, Sid is kind of saying, well, why don't you play an Ice Wind deck? And it wound up being sure, you get rid of the Lightning and the Earth cost, so you just pay him for the Ice, you know, and that's why you play those guys in an Ice Wind deck together. But it turns out that once we, you know, like Cindy was cool and interesting enough that we actually just kind of wanted to play Ice, Lightning, Earth instead of Ice Wind. So I think the Sid Hayes stuff with Kefka not explored nearly as much. Brett, what is good this Wednesday? Hello. Sorry, I was answering a judge call. Also, howdy, RBX Sire. Welcome to stream. Happy Thursday morning for you over there. We are doing well. I hope you are doing well. Always good to see you, sir. The alternative cost. Yeah, I mean, really, the important thing is that it doesn't say to play it from your hand. It says to cast it. So that's all. That's the only word we're looking for, right? Is the cost to cast it is reduced. And Kefka is saying you may pay that as the cost to cast it. So you can reduce that cost. A lot of sound logic for why it might not work out that way, but when you break it down, it does end up being a little straightforward. So we do have Greg, unfortunately, getting absolutely clapped by his opponent, who got to keep his God start. The Fire, Wind, Crystals deck is doing its thing. It's going wide. It's attacking. It's got those nice one-sided board wipes. And we have a hit Thornton on damage 5 for Greg. I don't know that it's enough. He's actually going to go get an Odin and put it in his hand to probably hard cast, which is interesting. Alright, so we are casting Odin on the Yuffie. Now Bart's comes in. Oh, Ash is going to kill the Cyan here. Oh, we're choosing Lulu. Is Cyan coming down this turn? Oh, never mind. We have no out. We're just... all these guys can attack? Okay, sorry. Everybody here can attack? We're screwed. When we Thorntoned for the Odin, I figured we did that because there was still some line where we were going to be okay. Alright, so Greg lost. Tyler has won at table 1. So we'll have to watch here if Matt beats June, Tyler is the winner, and if June wins here, the tournament is done other than the tiebreaker. Yes, that's correct. We would only have the only people who need to play another round are if you are undefeated, you should hang around. Also, Mark, I don't know if you were here in stream chat or listening when I said it, but the reason I deleted your answer from the Judge Calls channel is just because we try to have us only judges give answers in that channel. Otherwise, I would have people guessing at answers all day, and then I'd have to police the quality of the answers, and this way we don't have to worry about it, and the people asking the questions don't have to worry about it, and they just get an answer from one of our judges. No, it's all good. No, it's all good. That's why I'm not mean. I didn't put you in timeout. I just deleted your thing, which I think it's a little rude to delete it, even though it's, you know, well within the rules. So I just like to give you a little heads up. That's all. Yeah, and you know what? I'll just say, hey, yeah, we definitely don't guess while making ruling. I mean, Yo and I see eye to eye on all this like judge and ruling stuff. We've talked about it often. We definitely don't guess when making rulings. Like, or I'm pretty sure, or I think, are words that have no business in a rules question post or reply. But to be fair to the people answering, like we did, Mark was pretty confident he knew the answer. He didn't say I think or anything like that. It wasn't guessing, but I just don't know. I don't intimately know what your level of rules knowledge is, and personally in my Discord, I just like to have the same way at my events. I would want a judge who I had worked with before, and I kind of knew their skill set. I would want to know that about the judges in my Discord for my events. So that's why we just use the tag, and we kindly shuffle people out of the replies when they're trying to be helpful, and I just want them to know that it's okay to want to be helpful. Your heart is in the right place. Oh yeah, okay. I just of course I just wanted to say I didn't want Mark to feel like I was ganging up on him. All right, so we did get the Ash down. Hey, we found her. There she is. I'll tell you, we damn near punched our card to go home without seeing an Ash at the table. Still 5 in the limit break. Still have the second Ash. Ash is finally going to come down. We play the Fran. We get back to Penelo. We go the Penelo route here, and we're really praying for a no-no, I guess. No, we don't see one. It could be Vaughn, maybe on, I don't know. It's got to be Balthier, because he's only, actually there's 0 cards in hand. I thought there were 2 cards in hand, but I was looking at the wrong player. There's 0 cards in hand for June, so it's, man, it is tricky. We are in grave danger. We are one Glaciella Wazette or like Cyan away from the game being very over. I mean, yeah, we really, a no-no would have been nice. I mean, I get that Penelo is like an extender, but if we could have Fran'd for the no-no, maybe play no-no and kill one of these, like kill the Barts, right? Get rid of the 9k attacker that's going to clear our guys. Because we could play the no-no, kill him, still have the 3 blockers, because we're going to have to block anyway. We're not going to be able to use the Penelo ability, right? Like we can't afford to tap these 3 guys for the Penelo ability. So getting her out was, I get it. If we saw no-no off the Penelo, I mean, I'm looking at 2 of them in the discard pile already, so it would be, the odds of no-no are low, but if we saw that off the Penelo, it would have felt good, right? But unfortunately, I think we needed to play a little bit more carefully. Cyan, dude, Mr. Thou. I'll tell you, there he is, Mr. Thou. We even have this exact Mr. Thou face. Of course, this emote is still one of the ones I think we have on the list. But yeah, very, very powerful board wipe. I mean, this is the strongest Cyan will ever be. Certainly stronger than he's ever going to be in the game. We send 5 crystals to the break zone. That's 9,000 damage to the entire board of the opponent, and June loses the whole field. I mean, we said it. All we needed to see was a Cyan or a Glaciella, and it was more than enough. We blast the entire board, clear the blockers, damage 7, lightning, GG, which means Matt takes it over June, which means that we are all set for this week's event. So Matt takes it over June. Matt was the pair up, and June was undefeated, which means the only person who is undefeated remains Tyler. So congratulations, Tyler. He won it with Cyan as well in a Fire Wind Crystals deck. So I love Fire Wind Crystals. It's one of the 2 decks that I took to Nats last year. Definitely a little bit early. And I don't mean like I was ahead of the curve type of thing. And like I was ahead of its time, as in like we should have been playing it. I probably should have waited for a card like Yuffie to come out. The deck definitely has some better legs now, is a lot stronger with simple additions like the Yuffie and the transition out of the Lucio package, or even if you do play the Lucio package, there's so many more Warriors of the Crystal now. We got all these new Warrior of the Crystals that have powerful effects. There's just so many more ways that the deck has multiple angles of attack and more consistency. So I love seeing it come back. We had all these, we had Fire, Wind, Crystals, Fire, Water, that's even got a little Wind, because even the Yuffie and the Bards. So we had Fire, Water, Crystals, Fire, Wind, Crystals, and Ice, Fire, Crystals all show up tonight. Love, love, love all the crystal variants that people are experimenting with. Congratulations to Tyler for taking it with Fire, Wind. That's it for us this week, everybody. We are back as always Sunday morning with coffee and bullshit. Mr. Irving, are you around? Are you in chat? I think we're around on this Sunday. We will be here doing some coffee and bullshit stuff if we are. Please submit decks as always into Discord, the coffee and bullshit section. I saw somebody posted one there while we were playing tonight. So get in there, Discord, drop your deck list in the coffee and bullshit channel. We'll take a look at them. Make sure that you post about a sentence or two about what the plan for the deck is, and make sure that it has some kind of gimmick to it, you know. And then Irving and I will select those, and we'll battle them against each other Sunday morning. We won't be in Canada. We will be. You will be in Canada. All right, Irving will be in Canada. Oh, don't worry. We're gonna show the card, brother. We're gonna show the card. All right. Well, if Irving's in Canada, we won't have coffee and bullshit on Sunday. But all right, guys. So that is it for stream, which means all we've got left is a spoiler. So we didn't have a whole lot of spoiler guessers. That's okay. We did say it was a assassin / warrior light. Greg correctly identified that it was a wall, a Mobius wall. And I'll tell you what, if I felt like I had a lot of other things to talk about the card, we probably would have talked about it. So it's a little bit of a, so-so guy. We'll see if there's something to it. But you know what? He does use crystals. So let's take a look at our spoiler for this set. We've got Wall. Check it out. This is Wall. He is from the Mobius category. He is a 3CP wind forward, and he is Job Assassin / Warrior of Light. What does he do, you may say? Well, dear viewer, Wall, when he deals damage to your opponent, you choose a forward of 5 or more that they control, and you break it. And then for 1 crystal, he gains Wall cannot be blocked until the end of the turn. So he's slightly over curve. And he does have that little built-in package where he can make himself unblockable and then hit and break their big guy. But he doesn't have haste. So there's a lot that is left kind of to be desired by this guy. It does make me wonder what kinds of things they may have. If there are other Mobius synergies, if there's other like wall stuff going on, the fire, yeah, I mean, so there's some stuff. Yeah, I mean, yes, you can, guys, yes, there are ways that we can use action abilities and other things to give him haste, but that's true of any card that, is in those colors. I get, like, if you're playing, I don't know that he has so much of a home in just straight up Warrior Light, but yeah, the backup Luneth is also Warrior Light that could give haste here, because it gives it to a Warrior of Lights. But I think this one, like, yeah, there are a lot of little things that could make this really interesting. Like, yeah, like Mark brings up a good point. If you could like swap between walls and they didn't have like summoning sickness or something, like that would make this guy really interesting, right? Like, imagine if you could change into this wall because he's a really niche card, right? Like, he can be strong in very specific situation, but the situation's so specific, it's hard to justify including this guy in your 50, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit tricky. But as always, thank you to Square Enix for giving us the opportunity to share a community spoiler with you guys. Always happy to get to promote the game more and talk about what we're excited for. I'm excited for this set. I'm always excited for new cards. I love deck building. I love throwing nonsense together. We'll certainly bring this guy to a Coffee and Bullshit stream. You know it. I've got to mess with my spoilers, so we'll be playing with this guy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Wall. I posted him in the Discord. I posted him on the Facebook thread, so I'm sure there'll be some chatter about this guy. If you're talking about him in the global, always give a shout out to where you got the spoiler from. We always appreciate that. Otherwise, I think that's it for us. I saw somebody jokingly say in chat, wait, you'll test decks for me. So we don't want to play like serious stuff, but yeah, we will absolutely test some nonsense for you. So we will play whatever. If there's a little bit of jank, if there's a little bit of BS going on, what we do is get together and we play kind of like fun or nonsense decks just for the hell of it. Just to try new ideas and play things we normally wouldn't try. So I think it sounds like Irving might be in Canada for a tournament this weekend, but if he's not, or if that's maybe the weekend after, we'll be free. Coffee and Bullshit runs on Sundays where we are not traveling. So we'll keep you guys appraised as always. But until then, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We'll be back next Wednesday, as always, 7 o'clock Eastern with the next tournament. It's Materia Cup. All right, it's a Materia Cup this weekend, so he will be in Canada. So we'll be watching that probably instead. But we will be back Wednesday with stream then. So we will see you there. But still, submit decks. Still submit decks to Coffee and Bullshit channel so that we have them ready for the next time around. But that's it, guys. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Peace!